Hello, friends, and welcome back to Stories About Entitled People. I've always wondered how frustrating working in one of those gas stations would be. Well, in our first story, we can get a little insight into this wonderful world. So don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you're new here and turn on notifications so you don't miss a new video every single day. Here we go. It's right there, on the back. The back, that's the bottom. The back. The way my gas station is set up, it's a tiny kiosk with bulletproof glass all the way around. The cigarettes/meltable candy are inside, while everything else is in a display case outside. Most of the time, customers will hold their outside purchases up to the window for you to scan it with the gun without being prompted. But sometimes they'll just sit it on top of the drawer where you can't even see what they've got to begin with, and they'll go, "This and 20 on 5," or whatever. Or sometimes they'll leave it in the little shelf thing so you can see it, but it doesn't matter because we need to scan things. Which I understand that not all places do that, but we're not one of those places, and we don't have a way to enter an item to your total without scanning it. There's a lot of fun things that happen once you tell someone you need to scan their item. Usually they'll hold it up correctly the first time, but sometimes you'll get the directionally challenged person who, upon being told to turn the back of the item towards the window, give it a 360 and show you the front again. Or they'll flip it and show you the bottom. Or they'll flip it and show you the top. Or they'll turn it upside down, still facing the front at you. Sometimes it takes an awkwardly long time for them to get it right. And then there's the people who don't even bring the items to you because it would be an inconvenience to carry them. So they just announce that they want it. I had a woman not long ago tell me she wanted 4 Gatorades and threw a living fit when I told her I need to scan them. "I can't carry 4 Gatorades in my wallet." "You can grab 1 and I'll scan it 4 times. She ended up stomping over to the cooler, grabbing 4 Gatorades, angrily slamming them onto the shelf outside so that 1 rolled away and sarcastically asked, "Is that better?" I just looked at her and said, "I still need to scan them." And our second story. Lady tries to circumvent a shop ban and waste my time in the process. Bit of backstory. I live in Switzerland. When I was about 20 and looking for a job, I found work for a few months at a small shop where we repaired/installed/sold computers. I was put as an assistant to one of the guys repairing PCs. So the story. I was watching the shop once during lunch, happily working on my PC since nobody was in the shop. A lady comes in and starts browsing the shelves. We have a few PCs, laptops, and screens on the shelves, so I move out of the lab and in the client area to be available in case she needed something. After about 5 minutes of browsing, she leaves. A couple days later, I'm watching the shop at lunch again, and she comes back. She's easily identifiable because of some huge earrings and a large pink bag she carries, by the way. This time, she sticks around 5 or 6 minutes, asks me some questions about a screen without actually listening to my answer, and then leaves again. This repeats for a couple of weeks, with this lady coming in at lunch when I'm alone in the shop, sticking around for a few minutes and leaving without buying anything. At first, I thought nothing of it, so I didn't say anything to the others. Skip to a couple weeks later, she comes in and after spending 10 minutes looking at the shelves, comes up to me and asks, "I'm looking for a gaming computer for my son. What do you have?" I pull out the catalog. We have only office and lower-end stuff on the shelves to avoid people grabbing something and running out, and show her the products that can be used as gaming computer. She immediately says, No, these cost too much. Do you have anything cheaper?" "No, sorry, but the ones on this page are the cheapest we have that can be used for gaming." "How about building one? I read on your website that you do that too." We didn't actually have a website. The most we had are some Google reviews. I decided not to bring it up because I was not sure how to say it without accidentally treating her like an idiot. I go on to explain that we don't build PCs on commission. What we do is repair them and or put it together if you have the pieces. The latter is mostly for people who want to upgrade parts of their PC but are afraid of doing it themselves. And here comes the problem. She points at my own PC I was building in the back through the door I'd left open when I came into the client area. "You were building that when I came in? I've seen you all this time, and you're not just repairing that, you're making it from scratch." "Yes, but that's not for sale. That one is my own personal computer that I've been building here during breaks or when there aren't clients who need help." "Then that means you can build one. so build one for my son. No, I can't build you one. It's against company policy. We can repair your PC, or you can buy a new one from us, but we're not authorized to build our own to sell. This went on for a while, her demanding I build one for her, and me repeating like a broken record that I couldn't. At this point, I was completely in uncharted waters as I was trained my first day on the job on how to deal with customers, but we hadn't covered clients who didn't know how to take no. All I could do was repeat my line about company policy and hope she would eventually get the hint. After a couple of minutes of this, she suddenly pulls a face like she had the most amazing idea ever and tells me, well, if you can't build one in the shop, I'll buy the one you're already built there in the back. I'll give you 100 francs for it. That's my computer. I built it for my own use. It's not for sale. And besides, I can't use the shop to sell my own stuff. Oh, come on, nobody needs to know, and you'll get 100 francs practically for free. Just to summarize, this lady had wasted 20 minutes of my life, 10 minutes of browsing, and then another 10 discussing this. And I'm never getting this back. She had this I'm speaking to a slow child kind of tone the entire time, and now she wants to buy this PC I've built over a month, 2 counting the time spent waiting for parts to arrive, for just 100 francs? I'm not a patient person by nature, and she was really getting me to homicidal levels of anger. Madam, again, this is my property. It's not for sale. And even if it was, just the parts inside it are worth over 800 francs, never mind all the time I've put into it. She literally jerks back as if I've struck her. She has this absolutely shocked expression on her face as if what I've said does not compute. Then she starts screaming about how I'm trying to swindle her, how it's bullcrap that a computer a child made would cost that much, how she was going to report me to my boss for doing illegal activities in his shop. I think she meant that I was putting together my PC in the lab. I had permission for that. But at that point, I didn't bother correcting her. How I should be grateful an actual working adult who knows how life works is willing to put up with you, and other similar stuff. I was lucky that before anything else happened, my boss and the other 2 guys working that day came back from lunch. They took one look at this lady, and then the boss started yelling at her, screaming to get out of his shop and that if she ever returned, he would finally call the police on her. She was out of there as if the devil itself was on her butt. Turns out this was the 3rd time she came and did this. Every time she would wait for someone new who didn't know her was alone in the shop, then come in and start demanding stuff worth thousands for cheap or wanting impossible services. The first time she'd done that, she'd been asked to leave. The second time, they had officially banned her from ever doing business with them again and told her she was not welcome in their shop. That lady was insane. Not only for wanting a good computer for nothing, but for stalking the new employees. And our last story. I would like a raise and time off. And I want to start this off by clarifying that it's not my story. It's the story of someone very close to me. And I'll leave out a large amount of specific detail because quite a bit of info is not mine to reveal. The build-up to the story is that this person had a horrible employer. She worked HR and managed payroll at what was effectively a nursing home. I don't know that they call themselves that, but it's what they are. The company had a bit of a good old boys club going on, with all the highest level management being older men who all did less work and got more pay than pretty much everyone else. There were regular complaints from women about being mistreated, and many women were fired for absolutely absurd reasons, followed by their male co-workers getting raises. That, in and of itself, was bad, but it's not what instigated the need for revenge. What caused the burning desire to get back at the company was when the company fired my friend's manager because she took a week off after literally breaking a leg, badly. The HR department was already badly understaffed, so my friend had to take on the responsibilities of this manager without any pay bonus. She requested a pay bonus multiple times, denied each time. A month or so later, the company hires a new manager to replace the old one at nearly twice the salary. This new manager is an older man. I'm not entirely sure what this guy actually did during the day, because my friend continued to do all of the managerial tasks, and she knows that for a fact because the guy's account didn't have access to the systems he needed access to, and he never asked for that access. For 6 months, my friend showed this manager issues with their system, including payroll, and explained that she was not only the only employee who knew how to use the payroll system, but she was the only one with access to it. That D-bag ignored her and made regular comments about how she was replaceable and useless. One day she loses her crap. She set up a bot with her credentials to automatically assign her pay each pay period according to her actual salary, so not stealing or anything. She then carefully plans her next move and puts in her 2-week notice, right before a large department-wide week off, and right before her only coworker has a 2-week vacation. She wouldn't have time to train the coworker even if the coworker was in the country. The manager still dismissed her, thinking he could just hire someone who knew what they were doing. Little did he know, she had tweaked with the payroll software over her time there. Nothing super awful, but it was very different from what the base software was. She was the only person who knew how to use it properly, and the only person in the whole company, including the CEO, who had access to the necessary numbers to actually run the payroll. When she leaves, after the 2 weeks, the company has 2 whole pay periods where they don't pay their employees. They can't. But my friend still gets paid because they never disabled her automatic payment thing. They couldn't. Eventually, they called her and basically begged her to consult with them on their payroll. For the past 6 months, she's been paid $250 an hour for 5 hours a week to run the company's payroll. Fully remote, even though it was an in-person job before. And to top it all off, she doesn't even actually work the 5 hours. She wrote a script on her personal devices to process payroll for her. She just has to press one button. She's working another job now, but damn, she really kicked them in the butt for their crap. $5,000 a month for doing nothing is amazing. Good job to her. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.